Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Joe Vieira with the Musician's Lounge. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Today's video is all about home studio recording for beginners, the basic setup, and the bare necessities that you need to start recording. And I mean bare necessities. That means the cheapest way you can go. You don't have to go spend an arm and a leg to get yourself going and get started with PC recording at home. A lot of people are going that route now because, face it, it's easier if you have the right tools. A lot of people still have those portable 8 tracks or 24 tracks or 12 track recorders laying around. I used to have one, and ever since I jumped into PC recording, I stepped away from that ever since, and I've been happy with it. The only thing is, in the beginning, it does get hard and frustrating, and that's what this video is partially about. I'm trying to send my followers, my subscribers in the right direction so they don't get frustrated, because face it, nobody likes to get frustrated after they just now bought their software, they got their interface, they got their PC, and they hook it all up, and all of a sudden you're getting these latency problems and everything just goes haywire. And nobody wants that. So that's what this video is about today, and we're going to get started right now. All right, welcome back. So let's talk about a few things that you do need to get started recording music at home. Your basic home studio setup. Now, you don't need to go out there and spend $1,000. Roughly, people start off with $300, even $250, and some people start with $400. Whatever money you have is fine, but you don't need to go spend $1,000 to get started. I'm going to give you a rundown of the basic things that you need, and it's a list, and then we'll talk about each one of those. And also we'll get into that sample rate and the buffer size to, set yourself up so that way you don't get those popping sounds and those cracking sounds, because that's what people are complaining in my comment section about this recording session that I did, and they were asking me, hey, how do you get that great sound without any of the popping or cracking? I'm having difficulties with my setup. We'll get into that later. Okay, so there's 9 things that you do need, and these are necessities. Number 1 is your computer. Without the computer, you're not going to be able to do anything, and it has to be powerful enough. The list is your computer, your DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. That's your recording software that's inside your computer that captures your recordings, and it does everything. Your audio interface, that's an audio device that sits on your desk that you plug your instruments into, and it goes to the computer. It's basically your sound card. Then you need your microphones. Typically you want to at least have one, of course, or I prefer 2. 2 condenser mics is outstanding to have. You can get condenser mics they range from 50 to 120. The good ones are about $300, but you don't need to go spend an arm and a leg. Just get yourself a basic condenser mic, about $50 to $70 microphone. Get 2 of them, 2 different ones. One for like a recording acoustic, one for you can even get an SM57 to record the front face of your cabinet if you're a guitar player and off access it, so that's a good thing to do. Then you got your basic studio monitors. You got to have your studio monitors, a decent pair. They can range from a 5-inch cone to like a 6 or 7. You don't need to go out there and spend money on a 12-inch cone. These are 6s. These are 6-inch speakers, and these are deep enclosures, and these are the KRK ROKIT 6. These are 6-inch cones. These are ideal for recording. They're really good, but you can pick a pair up for like $200, $100 each speaker. They're out there. PRESONUS makes them, Mackie, they're out there. Also, you need cables. It's important that you have extra cables laying around, your 1/4-inch guitar cables, and then your XLR microphone cables. Always have extras laying around, so just in case one shorts out or something is buzzing, you have extra cables. Always have that, because that's important. You don't want to stop a recording because your microphone cable broke or your guitar cable broke and there's no music store nearby, and the nearest one's an hour away. That would suck. Also important to have a microphone stand. You don't need to have two. Just have one. If you're recording yourself, just one. If you're recording a band and you're getting in a situation where you got this room, you're using that room all for recording only, and it's a home studio room, then, and you got drums set up in there, then yeah, by all means, you're going to need a few mic stands for sure. But this is for beginners, and I know you beginners out there are not going to be involved recording a whole drum kit. Believe me, that's a pain in the ass. Also, you need a pop filter. Pop filter for your microphone is basically, you can use a regular pop filter that sits on top of the base of the top of the microphone, or you can get one of these vocal guards. That's what I call it. This typically sits on top of the mic stand, clamps onto the mic stand, and your microphone's back here. So the microphone's right here, and this blocks all the P's and S's, so you don't get all that stuff. So this is ideal to have. And what it does, it sits in front of this guy. Now this is a shock mount. That's another thing you need to get for your condenser mics, for vocals and stuff like that, even guitar, like acoustic. You want to set this in front of the sound hole or the 12th fret of an acoustic guitar. These are really nice. This is a shock mount. The microphone goes inside here. It clamps together and it keeps it stable. So when you accidentally hit the microphone, the shock from it, you won't hear it during the recording. The microphone sits in here, and this is what you call a shock mount. That's what this is right here. Here's the piece that you screw onto. It goes on top of your mic stand. It's threaded, as you can see there, and you just tighten it up. And then the pop screen right here goes in front like this. So those are necessities. You should really get those. And audio interfaces, let's talk about that for a second. Your audio interface is a device that sits on your desk and it plugs into your computer. It sends all your sound messages from the audio interface into your computer, and it's basically your sound card. So it basically bypasses your PC sound card and goes to audio interface only. And you have to set that up in the settings inside your DAW, which is your digital audio workstation software. This is your typical audio interface. Now this is different. This Roland Pro X can actually plug into your phone. That's what's so cool about this. I use this on live streaming, and I use it for recording to my PC sometimes. Or if I have a laptop, I have a small laptop that does the job. You know, I can't record big projects, but I can record, guitar ideas. If I have an idea that I want to just, record real quick on the go, I use my laptop and I plug this guy in. Now this is your typical, audio interface. You got, two left and right instrument jacks right there. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. And it has your guitar jack right there for your guitar. So this particular thing, I can hook up an XLR microphone. I can hook up a microphone and guitar at the same time. So this is basically your 2-channel audio interface. The one behind me, you can't see it, but it's back here. This guy right here, you can't really see it. That guy there is a 4-channel, 4 preamp audio interface by Behringer, and they're really cheap. So if you want to check out their audio interfaces at Sweetwater or Guitar Center or wherever you're shop from, get one of those. They're really cheap and they are reliable. I've never had a problem with them, and they're super fast. So all right, so next thing we're going to talk about is your microphones. You typically want to have a couple condenser mics laying around. They range from $50 to $75. Excuse me, depending what you're looking for. Also, you can get away with one of the microphones that you have maybe laying around. If you have an SM57 or SM58, sometimes you can record the front face of the cabinet and off access it, get it right there on the cones or put it in the middle, wherever you want to stage it at. You get some unique guitar sounds from a front face of the cab, and use a head, a guitar amp, or whatever. I typically go with the plugins, like a guitar simulator, and I basically use guitar plugins for that. I don't use any amplifiers anymore. I don't record the front face of the cabinet anymore. But just go with that. Just get yourself a decent guitar plug-in, like Guitar Simulator or something, and just use that. There's a lot of free ones, by the way, out there. Also, let's talk about cables. You always want to have extra cables laying around. If one fails, you have one there. Like I said, you don't want to, drive an hour away to the nearest music store to pick up a cord when all you needed to do is just have extras in a bag laying around. They're not much, and you just have extras laying around, so just in case that happens. Because sometimes the wires come off, they get a short in them or whatever, and you start getting buzzing on your guitar recording and all that stuff. And yeah, who needs that? The microphone stand can be a basic boom microphone stand. Those mic stands are ideal for recording guitar or vocals, so that way I can bend it down. It's adjustable, so I can lower it, raise it, and then it has an extra arm that you can fold, push down and put that thing right into the sound hole of acoustic guitar. So don't get a straight mic stand. It's only good for vocals. Try to get one like a boom stand or something that you can adjust. That's very important. And then we talked about the pop filter. You have to have a pop filter for your mic to block out those P's and S's because you don't want that. So now let's talk about your computer. Okay, now this is what this video is really about now. Okay, this segment right here. A lot of people were complaining about, they were asking me questions. Hey Joe, how do you set the sample rate? How do you set the buffering accordingly so that way I don't get all this cracking or this popping sound? And sometimes my project just stops, freezes, and then I got to reboot. Well, I've had that problem. I was there. I was in the same situation as you, and I was a beginner. I stepped away from all those 4-track and 8-track and 12-track recorders that are out there. Tascam, I had the Tascam 24-track recorder. Beautiful recorder. You can copy and paste, do all the splitting, cutting, all that stuff in your song. And it was 24 tracks. It was a really good unit. But when I got involved in PC recording as a beginner, just like you guys, I stepped away from it immediately, and I got involved with Mixcraft, using Mixcraft Professional 9 as my recording software. Then PRESONUS, I saw this video on YouTube, and I say, hey, that PRESONUS looks really good. So I tried their software, which was I think it was PRESONUS Studio 1.3. That's how far back it was, and because they have Professional 6 now. But it was PRESONUS Studio 1.3 Artist, and it was free. So I did the free trial, and ever since then, I've been hooked. I always use PRESONUS products. I have a couple of gear from PRESONUS. They're really good, and I love their software. Right now, you can get PRESONUS Studio Professional 6 through their membership program, which is Sphere, where you get it for $14 a month. I think that's what I pay a month, and you get everything. You get the software, which is retail. I think it goes like $350 by itself, and then they have all the plugins right there that you can just click on them, download them for free. As long as you're a member, you get all that for free. And you get all the loops. You want drums, they got it. You want bass loops, they got it. You want keyboard loops, they got it. Do you want vocal loops, they got it. Anything from R&B to rap to metal to hard rock, jazz, blues, whatever genre that you're in, they have it. So it's worth it. And not only that, you can collaborate with other musicians as well. You can send recordings back and forth and work with somebody that's out of state or whatever, which is cool. So you can work with somebody instead of working with somebody locally. You can work with someone that's far away and do a whole music project right through their membership. All right, so getting back to the computer. Now, what I'm using right here behind me, right here, that's lit up, I'm using the CyberPower PC. It's a gamer PC. That's a gaming PC right there. Now, this is 16 gigabytes of memory. It also has NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 1 terabyte. But I went ahead, from my old computer, I had the Asus i7, and it was 16 gigabytes of RAM also. It was a really good computer, but I had that thing for 10 years. Now, 3 months ago, I got this guy, and this is 16 gigabytes of RAM. And what I did was I took my 3 solid state drives that were in my other one, which were 2 terabytes each, and put them in this guy. So let's talk about the the PC and why that you guys, the people out there that are getting hung up on buffering and sample rates and stuff like that, they don't know how to set it up accordingly, and then when they do set it up, you're getting cracking, popping, and sometimes the project just drops, okay, and then you got to reboot. Okay, where that's coming from, it could be a number of things. First of all, you got to have a strong enough, fast enough PC that's able to do what it needs to do. In order to do that, you're going to need a decent PC with at least 16 gigabytes of RAM and a good processor. Either you can get away with an i7 or the next generation processors they have out there right now. I put 3 additional solid state drives. I go with solid state because there's less moving parts. When you're doing working with a conventional hard drive, the old hard drives, when you got that needle, that arm that runs around, you can hear it. That's when, back in the day, when your computer's struggling, you can hear it go. That's because it's that thing is moving so fast. So with solid state drives, it eliminates that, and therefore you can take all your loops, your samples and all that, because that's what eats a lot of memory in your computer, all those loops that you have. I have thousands and thousands of different sound instruments, all kinds of instrument sounds, loops, samples, whatever. I got libraries all over the place on 2 different hard drives. Then I use one of the hard drives, my other solid state, to save my project. So that way when I load up my project, it loads up from that solid state drive and it's faster. It just loads up immediately. Okay. As far as the software the software itself goes, I run it off my operating systems drive, which is the conventional hard drive. Okay. All the rest of the stuff is off my solid state drives. I even have external hard drives, which that's another thing I want to mention before I leave today. Always have multiple external hard drives that you can just take the project, dump it on there onto 2 hard drives, external hard drives, and you got 2 backups. That's your external backups. Then you back it up on your operating systems drive, and then you back it up on whatever drives you have installed internally in your computer. I have, like I said, I have a couple of them. So I always back up at least 3 or 4 times, because I ran into a problem many times where you go back to the project and it's missing, it's gone, because your hard drive failed and you got no backup. Well, you work all these hours and you work all this time, I worked a whole week on this particular track, this song, and I worked my ass off. My hard drive failed. My conventional hard drive failed. I lost it. Don't go through that. It's frustrating, and it just, all that time is wasted. So make sure you get a couple hard drives. Go with solid state. You can go with couple external hard drives, like from Seagate, that are 1 terabyte. Save your projects on them. But I always save my projects on solid state only, so that way when I boot up, I load it up, it loads up super fast. Now, before I leave, also I want to talk about the sample rates and the buffering size. I know a lot of people were complaining about cracking, popping sounds, and the whole freaking project fails. It just stops, and then you got to reboot. I'm going to give you a little trick. Well, first of all, go in your settings, right? Every software has either like a cogwheel, or it has like settings where you can change the buffer size, your sample rate. Go in there and make sure that either raise the sample rate or lower it. So you can either go up or down. I mean, it depends on your system. It depends on your processor. In my case, I can go all the way down to 124, which is really good, or 250, a 250 sample rate. That's how low I can go. Some people go 1024 sample rate. That's pretty high, because their computer can't handle it. So you're going to get this lag, and you're going to get the popping sound. And once you run into that problem, what you can do, you got to find your sweet spot. That's what I had to do with my old PC, and that's what I had to do with this one. This one was easy because this is a really powerful computer. So I was able to go to 250 sample rate down to 124, which is great, and it's super fast, and there was no latency whatsoever. And besides, PRESONUS software, Studio One software, they have a low latency anyways inside the program itself. So that's another thing I forgot to tell you. That makes a huge difference depending on what software that you're using. But go into your settings. You're going to have to keep going back and forth. I know it sucks, but that's how I learned. You got to find the sweet spot. If you're getting cracking sound, popping sounds, try to lower the sample rate a little bit, you know. And if you're still getting it and then all of a sudden it just bogs out and quits, you're going to have to raise it back up again, you know. Try to find that sweet spot. You might have to run a 1024 sample rate. You might run a 512, whatever. But ideally, most people run right in the middle. Certain computers can get away with that, but the powerful ones, you can drop it all the way down to 124 easily, and that's what this one does. So I get no latency whatsoever, and it's super clean. I don't get no echo, my project doesn't fail. I don't have to reboot all the time, so that's the way to go. One more thing before I leave. I'm going to talk to you guys about something real quick. This guy right here, this is the PRESONUS Atom. Okay. And this thing is ideal. This thing right here, this eliminates the mouse and keyboard. Now, when you get situated and you get more money, I highly recommend this thing because you can stop, play, you can do samples on here, you know, the drum, like your drum software. You can make your own beats using the pads. It has all the editing features that you have using a mouse, within the program or any program that you're using. Now, I don't know if this works with any recording software. I only use it for Studio One Professional 6 because this is a PRESONUS product, and I'm using PRESONUS's recording software. So this is made for that. But if you end up getting PRESONUS, get one of these. This eliminates all that, and you can also do your drum patterns right here on the fly with using these pads, like your bass, your kick drum, your snare, hi-hats, cymbals, whatever. The whole kit would basically be on here, and it has 8 different banks, so you can basically go to another area. You know, like if you have basically this section here, the first bank is only certain parts of the kit. Then you go to bank 2, and it shows another section of the kit pieces. So like this one here now is set up for 2 banks, and I'm able to use all the pads to make my beats. So this is another thing to get in the future, but that's way later on. So also before I leave, I just wanted to talk to you about the headphones. These headphones are the AKG 371s. Okay, these are the 371 AKG headphones. These go for like $130 at Guitar Center. These are insane. Now, I did a video of my other AKG headphones, which are these right here. And these are the 240s, as you can see there. These are the 240s. And basically, these are open back. Now, using open back headphones, doing vocals, you don't want to use open back because the sound leakage from the vents is going to come out and the microphone's going to pick it up. And I also have a pair of these right here, and these are the K92s. These are the AKG K92s. Now, I did a video of the 2 cheaper ones, the AKG 92s and the 240s. If you would like to watch that video, click on the card above, and I'll bring you right to it. Now, these headphones are really good to use. Don't get me wrong. You can check out the video yourself. They're decent for the price, but since I got these now, I'm gonna do a review video of these, okay? Because I really need to. But I don't have much time now because this video is like almost 25 minutes long already. But I'll do a video later on, so keep an eye out for that. But these are the best headphones I've used for the price for mixing and mastering. So make sure you pick yourself up a decent pair of headphones for your home studio. I hope this helps you guys out, and I hope that this makes you stay on your musical journey, because I mean, face it, nobody wants to get frustrated in trying to record and you're getting all these popping sounds and cracking sounds, and then the project just fails on you and stops. Nobody wants that. So I hope this helps you guys out and puts you in the right direction. Please leave a comment below. Give me a thumbs up, because it always helps the channel out. And I will see you on the next video. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe.